Hello and welcome to special coverage on Compass. I'm Amanda Anderson, Digital Media Specialist at Pioneer PBS. I'm joining you again to bring some information about how our region's small businesses are responding during this novel coronavirus pandemic. This special is replacing tonight's scheduled Compass episode, but you can watch all episodes of Compass anytime online at pioneer.org/compass or on the free PBS video app. Smithfield Foods recently shut down its pork production plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota until further notice. With 3,700 workers, the plant contributes between 4 and 5% of total pork production in the United States. Smithfield Foods is headquartered in Virginia and owned by Hong Kong-based WH Group. Jackie Hendry is an education and healthcare reporter for South Dakota Public Broadcasting. She joined me for another live stream discussion to talk about her reporting, what she's hearing from the community, and what might happen to the farmer suppliers. Next, let's turn to a banker small business duo in Worthington. They rely on each other in different ways and work closely together to complete the application required for the Paycheck Protection Program. Joining me is Greg Ramos, CEO of First State Bank Southwest in Worthington, and Jason Johnson, owner of Johnson Builders and Realty, also in Worthington. Thank you so much for taking time. It's just, from what I've heard, Greg, busy beyond belief for banks.
You know, it's been amazing because a number of banks chose not to participate in the program, and leaving a lot of small businesses out there looking for somebody to work with. It was at that time we had made the decision that we need to open this up not just to our customers, but to the entire region, because we've got to figure out a way to bring this capital back to our Southwest region. And so we started a week ago Friday, trying to get signed up for the program. We finally got online at about 10 o'clock Saturday night. And over the next 4 days, we processed about 111 small business applications, we're approaching $12 million in loans here this morning.
So my understanding is that there's only a certain amount of SBA certified banks.
Correct.
What does someone do if there's not a certified bank in their area?
You know, nicely, the SBA answered that by saying, even if you don't have a relationship, we need to get this money out there. And so they created a portal to allow banks that were not certified to be in the program. So we're covering about every community that we possibly can, whether they had a certified SBA lender or not. Things changed so rapidly. Over a week ago, when this all started coming together and the CARES Act was approved by Congress, we were literally making the rules up as the clock was spinning. We would be thinking one thing 1 minute, and in an hour we'd get a guidance from SBA saying this is what we're going to do. So we were really doing things on the fly. So out of this came multiple emergency loans, and I'll just talk about two right now that are through the Small Business Administration with the help of our local community banks. The first one, and the one that everybody is applying the most for right now, is called the Paycheck Protection Program. The reason it's so attractive to the small business and to us banks is because it is a 1% loan for 24 months, but the element is that it's forgivable. And so as long as the employer agrees to pay, use the proceeds to pay wages, rent, interest on their mortgages, utility bills, health insurance, and retirement for the employees, the good portion of that loan is forgivable. And so that has captured everybody's attention. The 111 applications that we did, 99% of those applications are for the Paycheck Protection Program. This program was totally designed to encourage small business owners to keep their employees on staff and not lay them off. And so it literally is a 8-week program where we will capture at the end of that 8 weeks, the business owner will be obligated to provide us documentation that they spent it on those qualifiable expenses. And as long as they did spend those dollars on those qualifiable expenses, the entire loan can be forgiving, including the interest. The other program that's available is called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, which people refer to as EIDL, EIDL loans. That is another loan program up to $2 million for small business owners but it doesn't have nearly the forgiveness element that the PPP program has. You can get a $10,000 grant right up front on that EIDL program. However, the rest of the money does carry an interest rate under 4%, and it can be amortized up to 30 years. So some businesses that need a lot more money that we can use for multiple operating expenses, not just payroll, that EIDL program is very beneficial to them.
Jason, I guess I'm wondering if we could jump to you as a small business owner. What has your experience been like? Do you mind talking about which loan you applied for?
Yep. So we applied for the Paycheck Protection Program loan. First State Bank Southwest had sent out some information via email. We had started the application process on April 2nd and got it submitted with a lot of back and forth with Greg and Mark at First State Bank Southwest. Got it submitted on the 6th. And I will tell you, they were calling me at 8:30 at night, emailing me at 7:15 in the morning over the weekend. And I really appreciate, as a new business owner, my brother and I purchased the business January 1st of this year, that type of willingness to commit to getting this done quickly for us. Business is definitely different. Usually this is the start of our busy season in real estate. But right now we have our front door locked. Right now, instead of encouraging people to go out and look at homes, encouraging sellers to have open houses, we've been having no open houses for probably a month. When people do look at houses, we have some Clean Smart spray products for our hands, for surfaces. We've been doing a lot of virtual tours of our listings to try to make it better for clients who maybe don't want to look at properties, or maybe they'll view the video before actually looking at the property, which again, I always tell all my listings, my main goal is to get people through your property. That's our number one goal as a listing agent. But we have to adjust all that right now. I feel like we're in the same situation as so many other people, as we're trying to keep business alive. But we're certainly not full bore like we usually would be, because we don't want to be a contributing factor of the spread.
So I want to read something that I found in Forbes magazine. It says, since the Paycheck Protection Program rolled out, that of the over 30 million small businesses in the U.S., 70% of them have applied for assistance, and most are still waiting for assistance. And then this article continued with a quote by Chuck Mausbach, CEO of Minnesota's Franson Financial Corp. Chuck said, the problem is, once this was announced, the US SBA tried to roll it out very, very quickly, and they didn't have time to get a lot of feedback from the banks. I'm wondering, Greg, if you feel like what this has been like for you, if you're feeling supported, if it's just how you are responding to everything.
Yes, I have to agree with Chuck. In fact, Chuck used to be a Worthington resident, so I know Chuck well. So
Really?
Yes. And Chuck was right, but it goes back to what I said when we started this conversation. The legislation was being developed at the moment in time that we were all trying to learn it. So things were changing rapidly, and the President Trump wanted this money. Congress wanted this money to get out to our business owners as quick as possible. And so we did run around the clock at the bank. We had many loan officers coming at 5 in the morning and staying till 11 at night, just trying to help small business people get the money out as quick as we possibly could. And so, yes, were we learning on the fly? Yeah, absolutely. And there was difficulty getting signed up for the program. I agree with all of that. On the other hand, the persistence paid off, and things have happened really quickly. And just to shed some light on that, we have 10 business days from the time the customer was approved for the loan to get it closed. So consider that this week we have to close about 80% of the loans that we processed last week. So we'll be working around the clock trying to make sure that we get all these dollars out this week.
And I guess to be clear, the statement finished by saying Chuck was supportive of the program was just like
Yeah.
how it got rolled, which is kind of like what it sounds like you're saying. And Jason, you've received your loan, correct? Or he's
We have not received it yet,
Okay.
but I think that we'll expect it shortly.
There was so much speculation that the money was going to run out quickly. I don't think anybody realized how big $350 billion is. That's a lot of money. And we're very fortunate that all of the applications we've processed have been approved. The money has been set aside for our small businesses. So now all we have left to do is close them. And like Jason was saying, his is in line this week. It's got to be closed this week. And so we'll see a lot of that capital come back into the region within the next week or two.
Greg, I'm wondering if you could comment on the health of businesses being run by people of color. Are you having applications come in, or what is the feel for that?
I love your question. I would guess that many of our small business owners that we consider recent immigrants, they are in this with us in the same shape that everybody else is in, and many of our applications are from businesses what I would refer to that are owned by immigrants, and we're working side by side with all of them because they are our future, and it is. We have language issues that we overcome by using translators and things like that. So, and realize that their entrepreneur spirits are being challenged just like anybody else's. But we work together. We're going to get through this together.
And again, I think that we're going to find that many of us realize how much we rely on each other and how we can have synergistic relationships with other local businesses. As opposed to, maybe saving a buck by buying it online or something.
Can you talk about, well, first of all, what is happening nationwide? I'm wondering how the response in Minnesota compares to or even in Southwest Minnesota compares with the state as a whole and the nation as a whole.
I think Minnesota has responded really well. We have a lot of small businesses in Minnesota. We're known for that around the country. So this program was critical to our state economy. I was working with our state senator, our state representative, and Congressman Hagedorn's office to try to get SBA to give us the proper guidance to get these applications processed and funded. And they were very helpful. And it was great to have those connections. I get the opportunity to go to Washington every year and meet with our congresspeople out there. So to have those relationships was critical to be able to get some of this through. I want to repeat what I did on the radio, and that is encouraging every small business owner that thinks that did this pandemic really affect my business? And I'm encouraging all small business owners to apply for it simply because in order for our economy to recapture, we need people to be out doing their normal things and spending money. And the fact that that's not happening right now, our system, our economy is being just sucked dry. And we need every small business owner to bring that capital back to our region. And they're forgiven. That's like a huge capital injection into our region's economy. And so when we come out the backside of this pandemic, we will be light years ahead if we can bring that capital back in now while it's available.
Is there anything, so we've been talking mostly federal monies.
Yeah.
Is there anything state level that people should be looking for?
Absolutely. The Minnesota, the governor's office declared all the counties in Minnesota disaster counties. And so the Department of Economic Development, DEED as we know it, did come up with their own emergency program, which is for small business owners, $2,500 to $35,000 at a very interest-free. Part of the loan is forgivable. So there are state programs also. Our concern as a bank right now is that our lifeblood is making sure that we protect these small businesses because they are our lifeline. we need these small businesses to come out on the back end of this healthy. Amanda, many times when people refer to a bank, they don't think of us as a small business, but we as a bank here in Southwest Minnesota, we're privately owned by local people. And we really are a small business just like anybody else. So we need the economy here in Southwest Minnesota to be vibrant in order to be successful. And so we look at ourselves just like Jason does his business, that for us to pass this bank on to the future generations, we've got to maintain our viability by helping people also.
Well, thank you for helping me get the whole group together.
It's a message that we need to share.
Yeah. Since you're not going to use this, can I tell you guys a joke? Why is it so difficult for people in Athens to wake up in the morning?
Boy.
Dawn's pretty tough on Greece.
But I'm bumped.
I like the dad jokes.
Yeah, the dad jokes have really been getting me through.
Well, I got one more for you then. Last week, I ordered online a vault and a speaker, and they showed up this morning safe and sound. So that's pretty. Yeah. All right, now I'm done.
That's
Stay sane and healthy.
Yeah, thank you again so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Amanda.
Okay,
Thanks,
great talking
Jason.
to you. Okay.
Take care. Thank you, Greg. Thanks, Amanda.
Bye.